Welcome to ProCAD's 3DSMART supporting module tutorials. Watch the entire video or use the on-screen table of contents to skip to a specific topic. The Bill of Materials Settings Manager covers the following topics: creating templates and modifying templates. Let's begin. Double-click the Bill of Materials Settings Manager icon to open the manager. The first topic is creating templates. When we first open the Bill of Materials Settings Manager dialog, we open to a blank Bill of Materials Settings template. Go in and add component groups and types, and then we can use the unused component types to populate our groupings. We can change the title of the bill of material. We could call this one a material list. Click in the component grouping area. Let's create, for this sample, we'll just create some pipe, fittings, and flanges. So we'll just create a new group called pipe. Create another group called fittings, and another group called flanges. So now in our pipe category, we can search through all of the pipe information and see what we would like to add into this category. So we see the pipe, we double click it, it will add that component into pipe. Under fittings, let's put in just a few fittings. So we'll put in elbows. Let's add some 45-degree elbows, some 90-degree elbows, and maybe let's go to reducers. We'll just do some reducers. So there's some components. So easy to add the components into our bill of material groupings. Under flanges, we'll go in and we'll add in the flange. Here's our flanges. We'll put in the gaskets and bolts. So there's our newly created three categories: pipe, which will just have pipe underneath of it; the fittings, which will just have elbows, 90-degree and 45-degree long radius. We don't want one. We can delete it out. Reducers, and then under flanges, we have our flanges, gaskets, and bolts. So this is what would show up in our bill of material. We can give it a name. Just click on Save. Or we can give it a new name and click Save. And now we've saved this new bill of material template. An easier, better way of creating the templates is to open an existing template and modify it. So we'll open up our templates that are created with the software. We'll pick our English template, feet and inches, and we'll open that up. Our first step, if we want to leave the original alone, would be to do a Save As. And then we can give it a new name and click Save. We're now working with our template, and it is called TLP for Twin Lakes Project, Bill of Material -1. The last topic to cover is modifying templates. We'll see that our component groups have already been populated. We have our pipe, flanges, fittings, gaskets, valves, bolts, steel, and miscellaneous, as well as any of the unused components that can be added to customize our bill of material. So under the pipe, all we have is our pipe, but we could add other components in there. Maybe the pipe nipples, which are located under the fittings. We'll see that we have pipe nipples under there. We can return this to the unused group just by double-clicking it. It is now in the unused section and has been removed from our fittings. We can then select our pipe component group and then find pipe nipples and double-click, and the nipples are now added into the pipe category. So in our bill of material, we'll see the pipe and pipe nipples in the same grouping. Under flanges, we see our flanges. Fittings, we see all the different types of fittings that we can have in there. If we don't want bushings, simply double-click to remove the bushings. When everything is added to the groupings and in the right categories, we can then save our template and then take a look at what is going to be shown in each of the grouping categories. So down at the bottom, we see, for instance, under the bolts, we'll see the number, the quantity, the size, and description, and the material. We can adjust column widths very easily by just using our cursor to drag the sizes. This distance, this percentage, equates to 100% of the available area for the bill of material, which is set under our options and CAD options for the actual width of the template. So we see that we have a width of 6 inches. So this is 100% would be 6 inches, or a portion of the 6 inches. We can adjust any of the categories Columns can be inserted and deleted. We can insert all column headers, for instance, line number, part numbers. Anything can be added into the pipe layout. Also can be deleted. We can rename, we can set the justification. Again, once we're set, we'll save. We can look at the sorting. This is how each of the groupings, each of the component groups will be sorted. So we'll be sorted by the type first, then the description, then the size, then the rating, then the schedule. We could put the size ahead of the description. Then it will sort by type, and then size, and then description for each of the component groups. Go to the Numbering tab. Numbering allows us to set the numbering of the items within the bill of material. We can set the start number. I wanted to start at, say, 5. It will show us in a little graphic below. Shows us starting at 5 and working its way up. We can round to the nearest 5, and it will start at 5, and then every grouping, when it finishes, it will start at the nearest 5 increment. We set these back at 1. Minimum offset of, say, 3. We'll miss 4 and 5 between the groups and 10 and 11 between these groups, allowing for insertions later on. Under the options, we can adjust the bill of material fonts and sizes, group headers, field headings, bill of material items, as well as we can set our pipe units to feet and inches or to feet. Once we have it set, click Save. And then our last option is a CAD option. Take a look at the CAD options. We can set the width of the bill of material, the height of the bill of material, and then the column spacing, and we have that set at 1 inch. Once we're done, click Save. We have our template created now. Let's look at the preview of the bill of material. This is a sample of what the bill of material would look like, showing our component groups and subcategories. If more changes are required, we can make modifications, and then we can exit out. Again, click Save to save the changes, and then exit. This concludes the topics covered in the Bill of Material Settings Manager tutorial. Please review the topics or select another tutorial.